Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and I had to bring Andy here with me today because he's apparently knows quite a bit about this case.
Michael, I would say it's safe to say you abducted me for
I
this case?
abducted you for this case, and I think you were the perfect person to abduct.
Yes.
Yes. Although kind of heavy, but
Listen,
it was worth it for your knowledge.
I put up quite the fight.
He did. But guys, before we get into this case today, I got to remind you that you can catch these episodes early and ad-free on Patreon, patreon.com/truecrimeguys, and it's a great way to support the show. We appreciate it very, very much. You also get access to every audio file that we've ever created, all the way back to 2016. But we also have some podcasts available on the free platform, like Strange and Unexplained, Cryptic Soup, and Sandu Stories, wherever you listen to podcasts. Of course, as well as these episodes of True Crime Guys. But today we're doing something a little different on the show, Andy. Of course, you know, we're doing an alien abduction. And the reason I thought about doing it is because a lot of people, or the reason I am justifying doing it, rather, okay, is that a lot of people consider this a hoax, right? And hoaxes are illegal. So boom, there, crime.
Crime?
Right? Yeah, that's crime. That's crime enough, right?
How is this a crime?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are going to be saying that probably the whole episode. But it's interesting nonetheless. Roll that intro, Andy.
Ooh.
All right, here we go.
I'd be lying if I said it wasn't ever on my mind. At least some of the time. I often wonder what it might feel like to join the fire in the sky, be burning bright. I just hope that when I meet them, they let me keep my mind. I'll hold on tight. I made a promise to my brother to never leave him behind. We're side by side. I'm different now. I'm learning how to live with my revelation. Every waking hour, I feel the power that shook my foundation. Now you woke on the table, their eyes pierce my soul, and I start to cry. Fear in my eyes told them I was afraid to die so far from home, but they sympathized. I'm different now, I'm learning how to live with my revelation. Every waking hour, I feel the power that shook my foundation. I'm different now. I'm learning how to live with my revelation. Every waking hour, I feel the power that shook my foundation.
All right, so this is another case that comes from Thina, and she recommended I do it for Strange and Unexplained, but we haven't really had time really to put out episodes of Strange and Unexplained lately, and so I thought I would incorporate it in this episode because you know it's a palate cleanser in a way.
Yeah, it's nice sometimes to get away from some of the real dark violence and gore that we've done.
Unless you watch the movie Fire in the Sky, and then
good night, God.
it's not such a reprieve.
Now I'm gonna get watch. We watched a scene from it, and I'm gonna go have to watch some My Little Pony on the way home.
But yes, this case, that movie Fire in the Sky is based on this case of Travis Walton. This is, I got to tell you though, this is one of the most documented alien abduction cases to date. The Travis Walton story got turned into documentaries, books, movies, and it's basically been talked about nonstop since, 1975 when it happened.
Yeah, since like day 3 of his disappearance.
There are still videos on YouTube that were uploaded like a week ago about Travis Walton.
Yeah, it's still a very hot topic.
And
of
it
alien
may be one of
abductions.
the most convincing abduction stories I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But did he get abducted? Did he get kidnapped? Was he held hostage? Well, if you ask him and the 6 other witnesses that were there, it was aliens.
Oh God, yes.
It was freaking aliens, Andy.
We just need that. We're just gonna have that sound bite every once in a while in the episode, just like aliens.
Aliens. But it all started on the morning. It was a Wednesday morning of November 5th, 1975, when 7 men were working for a logging crew in the Apache Seagraves National Forest in Arizona. The men were Mike Rogers, Dwayne Smith, Stephen Pierce, Alan Dallas, John Goulet, Kenneth Peterson, and Travis Walton. Now, at 6 p.m., the men started to turn off their saws, and they were calling it a day. All the workers started loading the supplies into their 1965 International pickup that the crew worked out of. Badass truck, man.
I feel like you included that just specifically
I did.
for you.
I just was like, this truck needs to be mentioned.
I feel like you edited out like
It
a
needs to be
paragraph of
honored.
like history about the 65 International pickup.
Yeah. I was like, oh, hold on, backspace. Hold on. But no. But by 6:10 p.m., okay, the men had everything packed. So 10 minutes, they're ready to roll. I mean, what do they got? Chainsaws and some stuff. Because they're not like mulching and all that, right? These are
just
They're
loggers.
basically cutting down trees, limbing these logs, stacking the logs, and then stacking the limbs. Okay? So if you're thinking somebody got mulched up in a mulcher, get that out of your head, okay?
Yeah.
Quit being graphic. Or
No wood chippers out here.
Quit being gross. But no. But as they drove, Travis claimed that they started to see a strange light about 100 yards away through the trees. And as all the men started to notice it, the truck kind of got quiet. They thought, well, maybe it's someone parked out there, it's headlights to a car or something, maybe a campfire. But as they turned the corner to get a better look, John said, he asked Mike, who was driving. Mike's the boss, right? He asked him, he said, stop. And when they did, Travis got out immediately. He was riding shotgun, and he said, in his own story, he said he couldn't help himself. He wanted to get out and see what it was. Mm-hmm. He's like, he didn't think, it was aliens, but he should have, because Alan yelled, "It's a flying saucer."
Well, that's one of the things too, is that it's part of the story that Travis does say that he got out on his own free will. Like he wanted to investigate. So there's lots of alien and abduction stories where people have said that they felt drawn to something, or they felt like they were pulled against their will to an extent. It's like, this is a key part where he's like, no, I got out of the car because I wanted to go investigate.
Exactly.
So, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, okay, he's conscious of his own decisions up until this point.
Exactly. So now Mike kills the ignition to the truck, and all the men are watching the UFO, for lack of a better term, 15 to 20 feet hovering above them. And it says that it was about 30 feet away, just hovering there silently in the air for a while. The men said it was a golden disc radiating an eerie yellow glow that floated above them, and it caused them all to feel mesmerized and, quote, filled with emotions.
Yeah, I believe that's called fear. And
Yeah.
you were filled with terror?
Right. But Travis described the shape as 2 gigantic pie pans placed lip to lip with a small round bowl turned upside down on top. The dome top portion of the object had darker, dull silver stripes on it, as if it was divided into panels, and it had a metallic look to it.
I mean, like literally almost like a peak description of flying saucer.
No
like
doubt.
A 2 disc shaped thing with a little dome on top. Like literally like he picked this out of a Roswell comic book.
Right. But where'd they get the idea?
I mean...
But they said that there was no visible antenna, nothing that resembled a hatch, a port, or a window. There was no motion and no sound from the craft. It appeared like it was just sitting there in the air. And then a bluish beam shot out from the bottom of the craft. And Travis apparently felt a sudden urge to get closer, even closer, to see for himself. Of course, he told himself that he wouldn't get too close, in case he needed to run away. Of course. But once Travis got beneath the UFO, he could see just how large the spaceship really was, and he could hear sounds like high and low-pitched mechanical noises and beeping and machinery. He described the sounds, they sounded to him like turbine generators and engines, like starting up, gaining RPMs. The UFO was speeding up while spinning like a top, and it was tipping from one side to the other. And then the men in the truck saw Travis arch backwards, arms and legs outstretched as the spacecraft began to lift Travis off the ground with the beam. Travis was hurled through the air, and he hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike was like, nope. He threw that bitch in reverse and drove off.
Mike was like, who's Travis? Fuck that. All five of us are getting the hell out of here.
Not to quote a Jordan Peele alien movie, but nope. He was like, I'm out of here. He threw that and he was gone, y'all. And they thought that the UFO was following him. And, they thought Travis is dead.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at that time, they're like, there's just nothing we could do for him. He just got chucked through the air.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone.
Should we go back for Travis? Who? Get the fuck out.
Yeah, basically. So Mike eventually slowed the truck down a little bit once they realized they weren't being followed, and they finally kind of started to talk about what they saw. Mike goes, I saw him falling back, but what happened to him? And Ken said, man, a blue ray just shot out of the bottom of that thing and hit him. It just seemed to engulf him. Dwayne said, good hell, it looked like he disintegrated. Steve said, no, he was in one piece. I saw him hit the ground. Then Dwayne says, I do know one thing. It sure looked like he got hit by lightning or something. I heard a zap as if he touched a live wire.
I always love the notion of alien abductions like that. And I always picture this is a silly notion, but I always picture it of like one of those claw machines at an arcade. And it's like they always get like some rookie to abduct the person.
Right,
and this was one of
your
those
first Earthling. Go
this
ahead.
was that situation where the guy was like, and we got him, and we got him, and we. You dropped him.
Did you let go?
Shit, he was.
Okay.
Fuck, he was pretty high.
Well, scratch your nose when you're done lifting the humanoid into the. Oh my God.
Got two hands.
This new generation, Jesus.
Yeah, I just imagine like the little claw machine coming out to pick him up and then just dropping him and then coming back down to pick him up.
Yeah.
Scooping him off the ground this time.
My bad.
Put a little bit of dirt this time because I got to go deeper.
Jesus. But after a few minutes, the crew reached a main road, and Mike said, all right, guys, this truck is going back. I don't care who don't want to come. You can get out right now. He said, but we've been acting like a bunch of cowards. We're all scared. There's no denying that, but we got to go see what happened, and we got to do what should have been done in the first place. So they go back.
Should have been in the first place. Check on our friend.
Exactly. So they go back. They search all over the area, and they find nothing. There's no tracks, no evidence of a struggle, and most importantly, no Travis. After they realized that they're getting nowhere, Mike finally told them, let's just go home. Let's tell the cops, everybody's going to stick to the same story, right? I mean, we saw what we saw.
Yeah.
So, So Deputy Sheriff Chuck Ellison was the first to be notified, and the officer noted how all of the men were visibly upset and appeared to be on the verge of breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
The officer organized a search group to look over the area where Travis went missing, but they came back empty-handed. Travis's mother was then informed by authorities that he was missing, and oddly enough, she really wasn't shocked to hear the news.
Oh my God. That's always one of the funniest parts of the story to me.
Right?
It's just like, your son got abducted by aliens. Again?
Oh, God, that Travis.
I mean, it is Thursday.
Both Travis's mom and his siblings assured everyone that Travis was okay. They believed he was abducted, but he'll return soon in a safe way.
They usually drop him off by Sunday.
Bro, when I first heard this, I was like, the aliens got to the family already.
Right?
Right. They brainwashed the family, and they just told them what happened, right? The family was like, the aliens were like, whoa, what about this humanoids, loved ones? Well, let's just tell them what happened. They just go over there and literally, we abducted your son. We will bring him back in 5 days.
Travis says, and that just repeats.
But anyway, within 48 hours, the world had heard about Travis going missing, especially after the alleged spacecraft in the sky was spotted, right? News outlets, ufologists, and other believers started flocking to the area. Meanwhile, Travis is not having a good time, probably.
No.
I don't think he is.
No,
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that if you believe this is an alien abduction, Travis was not having a good time at this point in the story.
This was me and Michael joked about this before. It was just like, it's not the lighthearted things that we used to joke about with the alien abductions.
No. When Travis started to wake up, he said he felt an overwhelming sensation of pain in his ass. No, I'm kidding. It's not. That's my only anal probe joke, I swear to God.
In his ass.
I couldn't help myself. But no, he was in a lot of pain, and he was laying on some sort of table. He said he felt like his body had been burned all over. He was lying on his back, and he felt really weak, and there was a bitter metallic taste in his mouth, and he was extremely thirsty. Mm-hmm. He said it took a while for his eyes to adjust. The room was hot, it was humid, and the air was stifling and very stale. There was a luminous rectangle fixture mounted above him. That's called a light there.
That's good.
Travis, that's a light. No, I'm just kidding.
Was that IKEA?
But, it was weird to him, especially in 1975. But the diffused light came from a flat, frosted surface of the rectangle. This really does just sound like an LED light in IKEA, right? I couldn't help but that. I'm like, this is not that amazing. But, whatever. But Travis said he felt extreme vertigo and was confused about the shape of the room he was in. He said sometimes it seemed triangular.
Yeah. It's right? Something about the changing of architecture almost.
Yeah.
It's right, or it's like your mind can't perceive what this shape is.
Right.
Like it's not really in our definition.
But he said it did feel like it was always taller in the middle and then narrow around the edges. Almost like a roof edge coming to a close, or maybe a dome shape.
Gotcha.
Where you get close to the edge and you have less headspace.
Oh, nice. Oh, good. You have vaulted ceilings. This is nice.
Very nice. Very nice. But Travis felt something pressing down lightly on his chest, and a strange device was curved across his body from his armpits to his waist, securing him to the table. And he saw blurry figures wearing orange-colored surgical gowns. Once his eyes fully adjusted, he realized they were not doctors. And he was staring at strange creatures that were very much not human.
I mean, it very much is like that Twilight Zone episode, like the famous Twilight Zone of just waking up and the doctors are like pigs type deal. Of just like, these are not human. What is happening?
That is so creepy. But yeah, he said he tried to touch them and their skin was spongy.
Ew, moist.
Right? Yeah. But they had large eyes that stared back at him. And he was so scared that he jumped to his feet as the creatures came toward him. And he grabbed a thin, transparent cylinder about 18 inches long off a nearby table. And he thought, I could smash this like a beer bottle, and it'll be a weapon. But it wouldn't break. I mean,
fucking Jesus.
You don't think aliens know about that good Pyrex, bro? I mean, come on. It's not it's like the Pyrex heyday right there.
Where do you think we got that from?
Seriously.
It was one of the technologies they traded us back in the day.
Still buying 70s Pyrex on eBay. What are you talking about? Fucking get in the loop, Travis. But Travis was screaming and yelling at the creatures as they moved toward him. They were a little under 5 feet tall and basic humanoid form, as much as they could. Mm-hmm. Their bones were covered with white marshmallowy looking flesh that apparently was spongy. And they had on single-piece coverall type suits made of soft, suede-like material, orangish brown in color. And the garments were gathered at the wrists and the ankles.
Ooh. Now I'm wondering. I think I'm not a big ufologist type person. I think these would be considered like the grays, maybe not the tall grays. I think these are like the regular grays, of aliens and stuff.
I see what you mean. Yeah. It seems like the same descriptions come up often, right?
Well, there's different.
There's a few different ones
of aliens and stuff. I think these might be the grays.
Yeah, you need to brush up on your ufology,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they wore simple pinkish tan footwear, he said. So specific. And they had very small feet, roughly a size 4, they would say.
Yeah, tiny feet.
Yeah, little tiny feet. They had no fingernails, and their smooth skin was so pale it looked chalky or ivory almost.
Yeah, it's a creepy looking little motherfucker.
Yeah. Their heads were bald and large for their bodies. They had small jaw structure, an underdeveloped appearance to their features that was almost infantile. Their thin-lipped mouths were narrow, and they had tiny earlobes.
They're tiny ears.
Right? Their only facial feature that didn't appear underdeveloped were the eyes, because they were, overdeveloped. They had brown irises twice the size of a normal human eye, nearly an inch in diameter. And the iris was so large that even parts of the pupils were hidden by the eyelids. Kind of crazy.
It's almost like a big fisheye almost.
Right? Yeah. And there was very little of the white part of the eye showing at all, and they had no lashes, no eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are the grays. These are the type. These are the grays.
You guys might be thinking, wow, he's really specific with this. It's like, yeah, he is. And also, every time he tells this story, he says all this stuff.
Yeah, he's got it fucking memorized.
It's
burned in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing about Travis Walton's story. You can watch interview after interview on YouTube throughout the years, and he says the same shit. He just says it a lot slower when he gets older.
Mm-hmm. That's always
he was
one of
on
the
Joe
things,
Rogan, and it was an awkward episode.
That is always one of the biggest things about this story that's always stood out to people when they talk about abductions is the fact that he came back. And because it's like, okay, if his other friends had came back and said, Travis is gone, we can't find him, it would almost be this like, maybe that Travis was killed and they're all sticking to this story that he's gone off in the woods. But he comes back and they all tell the same story before he comes back.
Yeah.
Like they all come back and tell the police immediately what they saw. And then days later, Travis comes back and was like, did you fucking hear where I've been?
Yeah. Exactly. And also the stuff that he did remember lined up with their stories too. The description of the spacecraft and all that stuff. And he wouldn't have, like when he came back, when he was rescued, right? He wouldn't have had a chance to talk to these guys.
No.
No way that the cops would let him talk to them. They're like, no. We want to know exactly what happened from you.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just, how does that shit line up? You know, I don't know. But Travis is here in this operating room, or so he calls it, right? And these creatures are coming at him. And so he's preparing himself for, you know, whatever they got planned. And it's at this point, it's almost like they see how terrified he is and they just turn and leave. They went out the door and to the right and disappeared. So Travis was like,
let's try another tactic.
Right. Let's go. So Travis, and they left the door open. So Travis was like, okay, well, I'm going to take this opportunity to escape. At least try, right? So he goes in the hallway, which was about 3 foot wide, and goes to the left. And he started running down the hall until he came to another room. Now, this room was empty except for a single chair. Now, there were controls on the arms of the chair, kind of like a Joy-Con analog stick, and then maybe some buttons. And there was a lime green screen. There were no words or writing on anything, no symbols, no nothing. So he had no idea what any of this stuff did. So naturally, he decides to push buttons.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, push buttons, dude.
Pushing all these buttons.
Exactly. And a screen comes up. It's like a map of the stars. And he's like, okay, this is like some type of navigation room or something. But he just kept pressing buttons to see if maybe one would open a door or something like that. So when nothing happened, this is Travis's version of the event. So this will come from a first person story. Do you want to read this, Andy?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
So I walked back to the chair and stood beside it. When I heard a faint sound, I whirled around and looked at the door. There was a human being. He was a man about 6 feet. He wore a tight-fitting, bright blue suit of soft material like velour. His feet were covered with black boots, a black band or belt wrapped around his middle. He carried no tools nor weapons, or in his hands, no insignia marked his clothing. I ran up to him babbling all sorts of questions, and the man remained silent. He led me out of that room and down the narrow hallway. He stopped in front of the doorway, or a doorway that slid open into a hall, or into the wall. The door opened into a bare room so small it was more like a foyer or section of a hallway. We entered a white room approximately 15 square feet with an 8-foot-high ceiling. The room had a table and a chair in it, but my interest was immediately focused on the 3 other humans. 2 men and a woman were standing around the table. They were all wearing velvety blue uniforms like the first man's, except they had no helmets. The 2 men had the same muscularity as the first man, but the woman had a face and figure that was the epitome of her gender. They were smooth-skinned, no moles, freckles, wrinkles, scars marked their skins. They shared a family-like resemblance, although they were not identical. Would somebody please tell me where I am? I implored. What in the hell is going on? What is this place? They lifted me onto the edge of the table, and I became wary and started protesting. Wait a minute, just tell me what you're going to do. I began to resist them, but all 3 began pushing me gently backwards down towards the table. I looked up at the ceiling, covered with panels of softly glowing white light. I saw that the woman suddenly had an object in her hand from out of nowhere. It looked like one of those clear, soft, plastic oxygen masks, only there were no tubes connected to it. The only thing attached to it was a small black golf ball-sized sphere. She pressed the mask down over my mouth and nose, and I started to reach up to pull it away, but before I could, I became weak. Everything started turning gray, and there was nothing at all but black oblivion.
Yeah. So that's his firsthand telling of that.
It kind of like how we talked about. I joked where I was like, let's make a new tactic or whatever.
Yeah.
It's literally like the aliens were like, oh, we look terrifying to him.
Right.
We'll go change our appearance to something that's more friendly, that's more appealing to you, that's more like you're not gonna be terrified. We'll look like you, and we'll do this the easy way, okay?
Exactly.
So it's very much like this notion of like even him going in there, but I get your brain is so crazy in this moment. It's like you realize these people don't look right? Like they're not normal.
Yeah.
They're too
and I feel
perfect.
like and this description as well, this like, perfect specimen of blonde hair, blue jumpsuit, like that has been repeated over and over again. Like when we talked about Skinwalker Ranch on Strange and Unexplained, and all the alien activity there, that description came up quite a bit.
Yep.
And, so it's just, it makes you wonder when it comes up in all these different stories at these different times. But when Travis woke up, he was laying outside on his stomach on cold pavement. He said he saw the outline of a metallic disc hovering about 4 foot above the pavement near him. Travis described the item as a standard UFO shape that you'd imagine when you think of a UFO. For an instant, it floated silently above the road, then shot vertically into the sky, creating a strong breeze. It gave off no light, and it was perfectly silent. Travis tried to get to his feet, but his legs were like all rubbery and asleep. Eventually, he got up and started to run down the highway into the town of Heber. He ran until he saw a payphone where he called his sister, who lived nearby. Travis's brother-in-law, Grant, answered. It was 12 o'clock in the morning. Travis was trying to describe the entire event and tell Grant what had happened, but he was incoherent and shouting. Grant initially thought this is a prank call, and he started to get mad, but Travis told Grant it was not a joke, and he really needed to be picked up. So eventually, skeptical Grant agrees.
And again, this is the
Thank
time where
God.
like they already know that Travis has reported missing.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and Travis calls and Grant's just like, God damn it, Travis, you know what time it is? I don't want to hear this shit again.
Abducted again, Travis.
Again, God damn it.
Take a bus. But Grant drove 3 miles to grab Dwayne First, who was Travis's brother, and the two men set out for Heber. It was 33 miles away. I hope I'm saying that town right.
I think so.
Heber?
Yeah, Heber.
Heber. What would you guys pronounce it as?
I would say Heber or probably, Heber, not Heber.
Yeah, not Heber. Have 2 B's. It was Heber. But when the men arrived, they found Travis slumped over in the phone booth that he called from, and he was very dehydrated. Travis tried to explain what happened, and he sounded so scared and nervous that the 2 men realized that he might be telling the truth.
This is a very detailed memory he seems to be recanting.
Very. And that's when the men tell Travis that he's been missing for 5 days. And no one had heard or seen of him. And Travis is shocked at this. He's like, wait, say what? 5 days?
Again, that his brother-in-law is pissed when he calls him at first. It's like, Grant, I need you to come pick me up. Travis, it is 12 in the goddamn morning. I gotta be up in 5 and a half.
Well, maybe he thought it wasn't Travis. Maybe he sounded different.
Right.
Just
love it being like, Cheryl, your brother's on the phone.
Right.
You talk to his ass. I'm going back to bed.
Goddamn deadbeat ass. No. But Travis had a small puncture wound above his elbow that looked like it came from a hypodermic needle. He was essentially starving and dehydrated, like I said, because there was nothing in his system, apparently, over the last 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Travis speculates that he could have been hurt or harmed. Maybe he was thrown by the original, like the beam of light on accident, and these aliens picked him up to heal and mend him. Like, that's how he's dealt with it.
Yeah, like I said,
that's kind of how
it was the inexperienced rookie who was supposed to pick him up. They dropped him, and they were like, and they fucking, the supervisor had to shove him out of the way. Like, God damn it,
get out of the
let
way.
me get him.
Now we got to
All
keep
right,
his ass for 5 days
while
while regenerate his freaking health.
Got to put him back in there.
God.
Jesus Christ, got to make him a whole story for
We
him.
used the last stim pack at the last planet. Yeah, that's how he, like I said, that's how he rationalizes it now. He's like, I'm not special. I just happened to be the wrong place at the wrong time, and they zapped me on accident when they were really maybe zapping the earth for some type of minerals, right? So on the Joe Rogan interview, he speculates that, when lightning strikes the ground, right, it interacts with wherever it strikes and creates like these special crystals. Okay, every like some places, like if it strikes sand, especially on a beach,
it makes
like
glass.
it creates this crazy sand structure, like instantly, right? Well, when it strikes other areas, like maybe this rocky forest area in Arizona, maybe it creates some type of crystal underneath the ground, and it looks like, I don't know, it looks like some type of like underwater plant or something. The way it shoots out.
Yeah.
But anyways, they're very valuable on Earth. But he's saying that maybe the aliens were attracted to this spot on Earth because of the energy and the activity, the lightning activity. And he just happened to be there that night. All of them did.
Yeah.
When the craft landed. And he just got close when they were, surveying the ground or whatever, and he just got knocked out by the beam.
I do love the story that he was kind of just like an accidental like deer that somebody hit with their car, and then they're like, oh shit.
That's basically what it is.
Shit. Oh, it's still breathing. Oh my God, it's still breathing. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Bring it inside.
Oh my God, bring it inside. Wrap it up. Wrap it in a towel.
Can we keep him? No.
It was like a family of fucking aliens just going out for a touristy stop, and they hit the goddamn thing.
Right.
Some alien daughter was like, can we keep him?
We're going to spend a few minutes on Earth. Everybody out. Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
You said you checked this spot. No one was ever here.
Did you look in the rear view?
But yeah, so now the question was, how do we see if everyone's lying or not? So now the polygraph tests start coming out. They're throwing these around to everybody. Travis took a few polygraph tests as well, and of course all of his coworkers. He passed one of them, and the others were inconclusive. And a lot of the questions, they seemed like they were trying to set him up. So I can understand how, especially in the later tests, he probably started getting angry. And more flustered, more upset because, they were asking him questions that would just, I don't know. I guess that would just be like, you're lying, right? Like you use weed. You smoked weed before, haven't you? Well, were you smoking weed that day? Or they would just use shit like that on him to, make him look less reliable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Kind of leading questions.
Exactly. And like I said, the men who worked with Travis were also given polygraph tests, and their questions were a little loaded as well, but it did kind of help get down to brass tacks because they were asked questions like, did you bury Travis's body? What do you really think you saw? Did you see a UFO? Etc. Right? And these guys, 5 out of the 6 all passed their tests with flying colors. Allen's came back inconclusive, but they think he was just a little more stressed out than the other guys.
Allen shit his pants on the first question. We don't really...
Right? Yeah, so he was still a little flustered. But the fact that all the other guys were telling the truth, even according to the test.
Like I said, the fact that all these... was one of the things I was telling you. It's like all these men tell the same story, and they told it before he came back and after he came back.
Exactly.
So it's not like they were making up a story to cover up their friend's death.
Exactly. So like most of the evidence points to an abduction, right? And it's like, I just feel like you'd have to be pretty small-minded to think that there is no other life out there at all, right? And so if you come to that conclusion that there's life out there, and then you have to know they visited us in some form. Some of them have, not all of them, right? But some of them have. So most of the evidence right now sounds pretty positive to an abduction. And there's one thing that really leaves me on the seesaw, leaves me on the teeter-totter on this whole thing.
It's a goddamn brother-in-law.
It's actually his brother, Dwayne. Travis's brother and Travis have been into had been pretty big into UFOs for a while, and aliens, okay? They were kind of on the uptick on that shit. They were in the know, and they had discussed a few times, more than once, about wanting to be abducted and how they could go about being abducted.
I mean,
okay,
well,
this is They even made comments about if one of them was abducted, they would attempt to befriend the aliens, and so the other brother could be picked up as well and share in the abduction experience.
Bro, if I get abducted, bro, I promise. Bro,
I promise.
I'll be coming back for you, bro. I'll be like best buds with them.
But
in
you
like
know, all
time.
this proves is that yes, they do smoke weed. These guys.
Yeah, these are two brothers who watched the History Channel for a while. But no, it's 1978.
How can we get abducted, bro?
These are two brothers who listen to this story and were like, bro, we could just get out of here, man.
We could
could go anywhere, bro, in like a fucking spaceship. Dude, if I ever got abducted, bro, I would come back for you in a heartbeat, bro.
Right? And it's like when you put all that together, it's like, is it a coincidence or were the aliens like, oh, we have report, this man actually wants to be abducted. Let's just abduct him. We need to abduct somebody and do our test. Let's just get him. 2 birds, 1 stone.
I still like the idea of him accidentally getting hit by the car. I just like a complete
You
accident.
think he's that lucky?
Yeah, because it's one of those people. It's like most of the time, it's the people who it's never the people who want it too much. But if this was one of those times where he's like, "This is my chance," jumps out of the car, starts running towards this thing. Alien freaks out, tries to back up real quick, accidentally hits him with the fender. Son of a bitch! Oh god! His friends all left. Son of a bitch! Fuck!
Oh god!
God,
guys, you need to take him to a hospital. Oh, Jesus.
Son of a bitch.
Put him in the fucking craft.
Put him in the trunk. Put him in the trunk. Like I genuinely that's the best case scenario, and I genuinely think that's what that happened. If this really was an abduction,
yeah,
that's what I believe happened. I believe this was a guy who saw his chance at a UFO, took off running out there. UFOs turned around real quick, saw him, and were like, "Oh shit!" and picked him up by accident and dropped him. I'm like, oh, he's not. Is he still moving? Poked him a few times. His friends drove away. Scooped him up, tossed him in the back. Like, what were we here for again? I don't know. Fucking let's go.
Right. And kept him for 5 days.
Until he just bitched enough and he was like, I'm hungry.
Or maybe that's how long it took him to wake up.
Right? Yeah. Or they were just done with him at that point.
Maybe
he doesn't seem to be passing any more of the liquid or solids.
When he tells the story, he leaves the possibility that he may have died and they brought him back. Mm-hmm. Right? He's like, that's how little I remember it. Like,
that's how hard the fucking thing hit me.
Right?
Dropped me from like 40 feet, bitch.
I don't know. It's crazy. Because he also talks about, like dive in for cover behind this thing. And it's like, what if you dove and like hit your head and you were just laying there up underneath this bench or whatever and nobody saw you because it was dark, and you laid there unconscious for 5 days.
You went into a small coma while your brain stopped swelling.
That seems almost more improbable, right?
But again, at the same time, when all of your friends tell the exact same story and then you come back and they're like... I mean,
there was definitely something in the sky that night. Like something...
People saw things that night. It's a documented thing.
In the there's a documentary that's just called Travis, I believe. But there's lots of people that were interviewed. There was a hunter that was out there that day that was interviewed. There was another like house that was close by, and a woman in her yard saw something. And of course, a lot of these people don't want to show their faces. They don't want to say their names and all that, but they're still all saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they're all stating the same type of yellow light, the same speed, the same way it moved.
Same group of aliens that got out arguing over the body.
Just think about how much work would have to go into creating this scheme. If you call it a hoax, look how much work would have to go into it.
Mm-hmm. Like this man would have to disappear for 5 days, and like everybody's got to be in on it. Everybody in his life, everybody,
and the police searched the area too.
Mm-hmm. Everybody has to be hell bent on keeping this story the same forever.
Right.
And it's like that seems like a lot of work for. What? Like this? It's not like you made a bunch of money off this. It's not like you got a product out of this. It's like this was a harrowing experience for this man.
You know what I want to check? I want to check how far it is from where he disappeared to where he was found. Hold on 1 second. Let me look this up. Yeah, okay. So Heber is actually not that far away from the Sitgreaves National Forest. And depending on where they were working, it could be just outside the boundary.
Mm-hmm. Because there's like a pretty big area. There's the Apache Sitgreaves and the regular Sitgreaves. So.
Yeah, just pulled that up on old Google Maps. It's really not that far away. I was kind of hoping it was kind of far away and be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But then I don't know. Maybe that would lean more into the abduction. It's like, how the hell did he end up way over there with nothing?
Exactly. Still the same clothes on his back. No unit, like nothing with him. No car, nothing.
Not even his deodorant.
Oh my God, he must have reeked.
Right? Didn't even have any oh my Gaia, man. Terrible. He was
The
just
aliens
sitting
would have
there
kept him.
sweating in a phone booth.
The aliens would have kept him if he had Oh My Gaia.
Probably. They'd be like, what is this delicious scent?
We would continue to harvest this from him.
But Oh My Gaia is an innovative, all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. And there's tons of scents to choose from in Oh My Gaia, like vanilla, cherry almond, sandalwood, lavender, lemongrass, Egyptian musk, coconut, dreamsicle, leather, lumberjack, honeysuckle, fireside, bergamot, amber, pear, sweet pea, sailor, barbershop, and we got our own scent called True Crime Pine. And there's even more than that, honestly. I'm definitely missing some. But because you guys are True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the word Crime Pine. No spaces, CRIMEPINE, Crime Pine, for 15% off your order at ohmygaia.com. That's OHMYGAIA.com. You guys will not regret it. Some of the best natural deodorant in the game. Also, there's beard oil and essential oils as well, or scented oils as well. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. And please make sure you check out Patreon, patreon.com/truecrimeguys, where you can get access to everything we have ever created and access to these episodes early, ad-free, with bonus content. But if you're just listening here on the free platform, we appreciate you very much. If you can, please leave a review on whatever platform you listen, and give us a follow on social media at True Crime Guys. And social media is another great place to leave case suggestions on any of our posts, or you can message us at True Crime Guys or truecrimeguys@gmail.com. All right, guys, thanks for listening as always, and we'll be back next week, I think, with another True Crime Guys case, right, Andy?
I believe so, Michael.
All right, guys, well, until then, just keep on creeping.
Bye.